Hi everyone, well, thank Crunchy it's Friday, as Cadbury's used to say back in the day before you guys were even born. Anyway, Norwich cufflinks back on, Norwich tie, all is looking good, even slightly brighter weather. So anyway, without any further ado, we started having a look at surface area yesterday, just of cubes and cuboids. We're going to move it on to all sorts of prisms. But it's as long as you can find the area of your basic shapes that we've been doing already, like your trapeziums and your rectangles and your triangles, and you're prepared to just think about the net that a shape makes, then you should be able to get all of these marks, which would be great, because these questions come up quite a lot, because a lot of people miss out on lots of it with them, and they just tend to leave them blank. So don't do that. But before we get started, I've got a nice little battleships puzzle for you. Here's the problem. If you can, you may want to print it off to have a go at it, or if you've got some squared paper, you could just fill it in quickly. So the rules are, this 2 is here because that means that there are 2 squares that have got a bit of a boat in them, and the ships have got different sizes. There is one full-size battleship there, a couple of, maybe these are destroyers, I'm never sure which one's bigger, a destroyer or a battleship, and then some, maybe these are submarines or something, and these are cruisers or whatever. But, so there are 4 dots, so I know that 2 of those have been placed already. Looking here straight away, I'm thinking, there's only 2 bits of boat in this. Now, because we've got the front end of a ship here, we will also need the back end of a ship, and we've only got room to do that, so that must be one of those. Another thing I noticed with this one up here is we've got a 0 under here, so that it's all ocean there. There's no bits of boats at all, so the end of this boat must also come immediately, and we can cross that one out as well. So I know there's nothing here and nothing there. I know that there's 4 along here, and yet there's nothing down here. So this is going to be either one boat going along 4 here, with one submarine up here somewhere, or one dot up here, whatever that is. Or what else could it be? It could be, we could have another 2-ender, couldn't we, going from there to there, and then a 3 long boat. That's possible, although seems less likely. So that's the sort of thing you've got to be thinking about. We know that somewhere in this column there's a single one, but we don't know where. And the same there and there. So we need to start thinking this through. So I'm going to show you my solution next time, and now it's time to get on and do some more surface area. But there is a good point for doing this, by the way. If you can think your way through problems like this, you'll be in a good place when you get a bit stuck in a question in an exam. So if you're able to download and print off the worksheet, that would be awesome. Otherwise, it's just as good. In some ways, it's even better thinking about it if you just copy down a bit of the question and have a go. So remember what we did yesterday, pause the video and give it a go. Now you could draw out the net, or you could remember what we were thinking about last time. So I've got the front of the box there. The area of the front is going to be the length times the width. So that's going to be 12 times 4. The area of the side, the right hand side there, that's going to be 5 times 4. The area of the top, that's going to be 12 times 5. And what you should notice here is you've got 3 dimensions on a cuboid, and each dimension has been used twice, but all of the rectangles are different. I've got a different combination of them. They're the only 3 combinations you can have if you discount 5 times 12. You could have written it the other way around, couldn't we? So I'm going to do these 3. 12 times 4 is 48. 5 times 4 is 20. 12 times 5 is 60. Add those up, 8, 10, 12, 128. Now I need to remember, of course, that there's a back as well as a front, there's a bottom as well as a top, and there is a left side as well as a right. So I'm going to need to double it. So I'm just going to write 128 underneath. 8 add 8 is 16, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2. 256. Notice there's no units on the bottom here, so one of these 3 marks is just for writing cm cubed. So even if you got totally stuck, just writing cm cubed would get you a mark. 256. I'm going to show you as well, in case you went for doing the net and going the long way round, what that would look like. So you could have ended up with something looking a bit like this. So there's the front, there's the back, top, bottom, left and right, and then work out each rectangle individually, add them all up, you still get to 256. Triangular prisms are very popular, so a couple of ways of doing this. Have a little go at it though. Pause the video before watching what I do. So you could go for drawing a net. I think it's quite a good idea here. So I'm going to start with the where to start. I think I'm going to start with the back. So if I put the back like that, I would have kicking out to one side a 12 by 5 triangle and another one out the other side. So they're going to be the same size as each other. Then you've also got the slope of the top. So if I call that the top, that the back, and then the base underneath. And with a triangular prism, we only get 5 sides because the triangle thing has got 3 going to each of it instead of the rectangle having 4. So it just loses 1 out there. So this is the base here. So the base is, so we're 12, we're 10 wide there. 12 is, that's the same length as that, isn't it? And then if that's 10 and that's 10, this slope here is 13. That's 13. Now we can ignore the 13 there because 5 times 12 over 2, base times height over 2 for the triangle. But you may notice you've got 2 of those, so you could just use 5 times 12 is 60 and just do that because that's added them both on. Then you've got 3 rectangles. You've got and you can do these as 3 separate rectangles, or you could say, well, this is 10 wide, isn't it? And how high is the whole thing? 12 plus 5 is 17 plus 13 is 30. So I could say that this whole length here is 30 centimeters. So I could just save myself some hassle there and do 30 times 10 is 300, and that gives me 360 centimeters squared. Now if you found that a bit confusing, I'll quickly show you what the 5 different sides would look like. So here in red are our 5 sides. So we've got 10 times 13 is 130, 10 times 5 is 50, 10 times 12 is 60, 5 times 12 is 60, divided by 2 is 30. So we've got our 30 and our 30 from there and there, and if we add those up we should find that they also come to 360. Question 3 is super similar, so pause the video, give it a go, see if you can make one long rectangle. So starting at the same point with the back, we've got 3 by 12. So that's actually quite long and thin, isn't it? 3 and 12. And then from that, I've got my triangle going out 4 there, triangle going out 4 there, and then from the top, it's going up 5 there, and then on the bottom, it's going 4 there. So that should give us overall dimensions. This is 12 from there to there. We've got 3 times 4 divided by 2 for one triangle, but because we've got 2 identical triangles, I can say 3 times 4 equals 12 for the triangles. Both triangles equals that. And then for this bit, from there all the way down to there is 4 plus 3 plus 5, which makes another 12. So that's actually a square. So we've got 12 times 12 is 24. Add those together. 12 times 12 is not 24. Gives you 144. Add those together. Gives us 156. And again, the units are not on the answer bit at the bottom there, so you get a mark for the units and 2 marks for finding out the areas. If you found the correct area for any one of those particular bits and you've shown where it comes from, you will get a mark for that. And then to get the 3 marks, you need to get the whole thing right. Here we go, things are getting trickier. So pause the video, take your time. You're going to have 2 trapeziums, and looking at that, I think it's 3 rectangles to work out the area of. But remember, any that you can see to work out, you can get a mark for, and you'll get a mark for your units too. So see how many marks you can get. Right, so I'm just going to think here, I've got the front, the back, side thing. I've still got, just like a cuboid, because it's made up of all 4-sided shapes, it's still going to be 6 faces. And because these are the same here, we're still going to get some double ups. So the rectangles, I've got a 5 times 8, and I've got, now let's draw the net actually. Drawing the net I think will make it easier. Let's look at the base first of all. That gives us something to go from. 15 by 8. And to keep things as clear as possible, let's use some different colour. So 15 by 8. So if you use different colour for the dimensions, it doesn't get so confusing with the actual shape itself. Then from that, folding up either side, I've got a trapezium. So there's one trapezium side, there's my other, and I know that this length here is 7 centimeters. I'm not going to worry about that one. I know it's 5, but it's not so important when it comes to finding the area. What is important is the perpendicular height. So I'm going to put that in as being 6 there, and it is the same there as well. And so now we've got 3 faces. We've still got 1, 2, 3. Which one am I? Yeah, it's the top that I'm at. The top we're going to have a shorter rectangle, aren't we, for this bit? So that's 7 long, and we know it's 8 wide. So this is drawn a little bit confusingly because this should be longer than that, but that's okay. So that's the top, and then we've got the 2 sides, which are 8 by 5 rectangles. So we know that they're all 8 high. We've got 5 there, and we've got 5 there. Now, is there anything I can do to make life easier? There is a little bit. I'm going to say, I'm going to call this whole region here one rectangle and say that it is 8 wide by 5 plus 15 is 20 plus 5 is 25. So we've got 8 times 25 for that one. 4 25s are 100, so 8 times 25 is 200. Then let's do the other easy one. We've got the rectangle at the top, which is 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56. And then we've got the trapeziums. Now we've got 2 of them, so let's do them separately. Trapezium, and I know the trapezium is a half times a plus b times the height. So a and b are the 2 parallel sides, remember. A half times 7 plus 15 times the height, which is 16. So what's that come to? 7 plus 15 is 22. So a half of 22 is 11 times 6 is 66. So the trapeziums are 66, and I've got 2 of those. So trap 1, trap 2 being those. Then I add the 6's together. 3 6's are 18, 7, 13, 18, 1 and 2 makes 3. So 388 centimeters squared is the whole thing. Don't worry if you didn't get all of it, but make sure you get that 1 mark there. Make sure you pick up another mark for getting at least one of those shapes, because the area of a rectangle is easy, so the 5 times 8, at least you could get a mark there. Right, now we've just got a couple of minutes left, so this is the question that I would like you to show me your working and post up onto class charts, please. Take your time, split it up however you like, and there's 4 marks for it. Remember, you're going to get 1 mark for getting the units right. You're going to get another mark if you work out at least one of those faces, and then if you work out the net and work out a whole load of them and then add them up, you're going to get another mark, and then if you get it all right, you're going to get 4 marks. So take your time, give it a really good go, and I will go through this at the beginning of next time, but you'll benefit so much more if you've had a go, and I'll be able to talk about some of the difficulties you've had. So begin next lesson, but post your effort to me, please. Okay, cheerio.